Hello again. So now we're at phase 3 of intimacy therapy. And as you remember in the first one, it's about maintaining healthy relationships with the idea of stop, look, and listen to ourselves and to other people to develop healthy relationships and be connected so we're not alone. And then phase 2 is about relational needs and how we have these needs, and if they're not met, and we kind of boil about that and muse about that internally, that it turns out into some behavior that we externalize or act out. And so we talk about when we're seeing someone's behavior to think about the need beneath the deed. So reminder of that from phase 2. So this time I want to talk a little bit about the emotional cup. Now think about internally that we all and each have our own emotional cup. And within this emotional cup, we have some pretty classic categories. And of course, we also have our positive emotions, our happiness, our joy, our gratefulness, our having funness, all those kind of positive emotions. But under that, there's only so much space in a cup, right? The cup doesn't change, only what's in it. So we often have a lot of hurt and sadness, maybe disappointment in our emotional cup. We might have anger and resentment. Almost always when I see clients, if they're very angry, under that is some kind of pain that's not been dealt with. And then there's that fear and anxiety. And that's always about looking towards the future, afraid of what might happen, anxious about what might happen. And so that fills a lot of our emotional cup a great bit. That layer might be very thick for some of us. And then there's that guilt. And guilt is about something that I've done that I know has hurt someone else. And so when I say I feel guilty about something, it really is about, I can tell you that I said something very snide or mean to my friend Jane, and I realized later that I really hurt her, and then I feel guilty about it. So it's about a specific action in the past, where anxiety and fear is about the future. Guilt is always about something I've done in the past. And then there's that condemnation. Some people call it false guilt. Condemnation is feeling condemned. And many of us show that by saying things like, I'll never be able to do this right, or I always do that wrong. Usually when it's a ever and always, it's that totality, then that usually is some kind of a false guilt or condemnation, usually self-condemnation. And then of course, room for positive emotions. But what this helps show, rather like what we talked about last time with the unmet needs driving behavior or deeds that are problematic, what this also does the same. So we often see these symptoms, they spill out. So they might be symptoms like drug use or depression or being irritable or hostile or having eating disorders or sleep problems. All of those behavioral things are symptoms that spill out of our emotional cup because we can't contain all of that and manage it. So when one of these levels or all of these levels get way too thick, then problem behavior spills out over our emotional cup. And that gets obviously problematic with our relationships. So the emotional cup. And what we do in counseling is how do we help them empty that emotional cup so there's a lot more room for positive emotions and we can manage all of these other areas that cause us problems. So phase 3. I'll look forward to seeing you next time for the 4th and final phase. Bye.